First of all, welcome all of you on this very auspicious day of Dr. Hanneman's birth anniversary. And also today is Ram Navami, a very auspicious day for all of us. So we begin the session by paying respects to Dr. Hanneman and especially for me, I will pay respect to my ancestors. So we'll begin. Okay. So the topic for today is an introduction to fundamentals of digital marketing for homeopathic doctors. The topic itself suggests that this is an introduction for the topic topic digital marketing, and specifically for homeopathic doctors. Now, although the principles of digital marketing remain the same and the principles of marketing remain the same everywhere, there is always going to be a slight change in the techniques that you apply, in the strategy that you apply when it comes to homeopathy, and similarly in different fields. So let's say if you are going to apply the techniques in the field of let's say restaurant marketing, principles remain the same, but you will have to think like a restaurateur. Similarly, when you are a homeopathic doctor, you have to think like a homeopath when you are going to market homeopathy. And that is where your research starts, that is where your thinking starts, right? So, and about me, my name is Dr. Keyur Vakharia. I have done my MD in homeopathic psychiatry, and I am a consulting homeopath as well as a digital marketing coach. I have done my undergraduation BHMS, like most of you I'm sure must be willing to know where have I done my BHMS from. I have done it from Dr. G.D. Paul Foundation's YMT HMC, which is a college in Kharghar. I spent 5.5 years over there. I completed my BHMS from that college, and then I did my MD in homeopathic psychiatry from Dr. M.L. Davle Memorial Homeopathic Institute, Palghar. It is one of the most premier homeopathic institutes all over India. After that, coming to my specialty of digital marketing, I did my certification from NIESBUD, which is a skills development institute in the central government, and then another certification which was a long-term certification, full-time work from IDMI, which is located in Mumbai. Both these certifications were in digital marketing. My experience in this field, I've been working in this field since 2015. I work with, by now, at least 3 prominent homeopathic organizations. I work with around 10 or more homeopathic doctors, or what I like to call them as homeopathic entrepreneurs. Because remember, we run our own shop, we run our own clinic, we run our own business. So we are basically entrepreneurs, all of us, right? I have also done some work outside of homeopathy in the field of FMCG, or commonly what we call as selling food and food items. Little bit in what you call business coaching. So this is some of my work outside of homeopathy, and of course I have done consultations outside of homeopathy as well as within homeopathy. I have managed a lot of online events and webinars, right from conceptualizing it to finally executing it, and which also of course includes the process of marketing. I have had the honor of bringing a page from nearly about 800 likes to 5,000 likes in a span of 2.5 years. Another one, a Facebook page, and another one from about few hundred likes to around at least 3,050 subscribers to 3,500 subscribers in a matter of 2 or 3 years. YouTube subscribers, right? Okay. Approximately, I create around 150 posts every month. Now this has been quite consistent since the past few years. I have edited so far, I have just made a count last night, and about 150 odd videos in the past 8 years. I have conceptualized and created or recorded at least 600 plus videos so far. And yes, when it comes to digital marketing consultation, n number of them. I have also started recently, at least about a year or so, formally, I have started taking training sessions for homeopathic doctors, as well as a few for non-homeopathic doctors, or other fields of business. And of course, before that I did training sessions, but it was more of an informal one. Okay, so that's about me. my specialization, it's into content development, creating blogs, videos, reels, static posts, webinars. I mostly work into organic content distribution, and wherever I have worked, I've always built up a brand from scratch. There was almost, or I would say, very little or no digital presence, and that is where I built up the brand from there. And yes, without social media ads. Not that I have, wherever I have been there, I did not do social media ads, but I would supervise those ads, or I would help them conceptualize the ad material. So yeah, prima facie, I am more into organic digital marketing, like growth without ads. Okay, and yes, finally, what I am doing right now with all of us here for training homeopathic doctors in fundamentals of digital marketing. This is basically a full-time, I would not say full-time, but yeah, 10-hour program where I train homeopathic doctors in learning the fundamentals of digital marketing, as so much so that they can immediately start off with their digital marketing work. Okay, so goal of learning today is going to be, by the end of this session, all of us who are here, we will get oriented towards fundamentals of digital marketing, which means we will be now at least having a mindset and orientation. Like, you know how this compass is, it always points to the direction north. So we have to orient ourselves, our thoughts, our ideas, our actions towards digital marketing of our homeopathic clinics, right? So we'll start off with the learning itinerary. The first thing that we will talk about is what are the must-know basic digital skills for every homeopathic doctor. Right? Then how to start digital marketing of my homeopathic clinic. Then whether you should do it yourself or you should outsource it. A major question. And then time and financial investment that is needed to do this work, right? Okay. So must know digital skill for every homeopathic doctors is you should have, and I am saying you should and you must have, working knowledge of operating a computer and a smartphone. Okay, and when I say working knowledge of operating a computer and a smartphone, it is not just watching YouTube videos, watching reels, okay, watching some content, reading some news on that, but making full utilization of all the capacities, all the programs within the computer, within the digital device that you have. Okay, which means you must know how to operate a Microsoft Word document, you must know how to operate a PowerPoint, you must know how to operate calendar within your computer, create schedules for yourself. So many applications in the computer which are there. Why I am saying this and why is it relevant to this particular topic is because all of this will be useful for you when you start digital marketing your clinic. Okay. And of course then there will be some softwares which are built in within the computer which will help you edit content. Like the PowerPoint that you see right now, it is a piece of content. It was created using Microsoft PowerPoint, right? And of course then you will have different operating system like Mac OS where you will have, I think it is called as some form of presentation it is called, I don't remember. If any of you remember the name of that software, please mention it in the comments. There is a PowerPoint like software in Microsoft OS and the features are very, very nice in that. If any one of you has been using it, please use it more frequently. Okay. Then you need to have working knowledge of how to use the internet. Again, like I said, just not to watch videos or read some news, but you should be able to know what is the best way of utilizing the internet. Okay, there are good websites where you can actually learn a lot of new skills. There are websites where you can search for answers to your questions. Okay, commonly now see, many a times I get calls which are technical calls. My clients are in some sort of a difficulty, they are not able to get through something onto their computer. Well, if I know it, I do it very quickly. There are times when even I would not know because the technical problems on the computer, on the internet are such that I would say 70 to 80% of them require a lot of presence of mind and your ability to find the solution. So how do you find a solution? So my best friend is Google, the search engine. All you need to do is type the technical question that you have, type the technical difficulty that you have, and then there you go. You'll get the answer for that. Sometimes you have a partial answer, then you get a complete answer to that. So use Google in that particular sense. And then of course, when you have the internet, you will have social media platforms, you will have content development platforms. Utilize internet to make the best of it. Okay. And one more thing. aptitude. An aptitude towards learning and upgrading your skills, not just homeopathy and clinical medicine, but also digital skills. Which means that don't only have to learn homeopathy as much, upgrade yourself with clinical medicine, but please upgrade yourself with all the digital skills possible. I am not asking you to become a software engineer. I am not asking you to become a coder. All I am asking you to do is remain updated with whatever technological trends are there, at least relevant to us as homeopathic doctors that are there. You must remain updated with them. Do not miss out on them. And yes, obviously you have to be always ready to learn more, learn new. Remain an eternal learner. Now, all you homeopathic doctors over here, tell me, where is this statement given? Who is the eternal learner in the homeopathic materia medica? Very interesting question. If you remember, if you can refer now or maybe later, if you know it, you can type it in the comment section. If not, later on. Okay. I'm going to read out something from, because we are talking about the aptitude and attitude for learning skills and upgrading yourself. I'm going to read out something from something that I had created a few years ago when I was working for one of the clients. Is never give up on homeopathy. It took 6 years for Dr. Samuel Hahnemann to bring his research on homeopathy to his peers. 6 years is a long time. It took him a lifetime to prove 99 homeopathic remedies. But he never stopped learning and teaching homeopathy. He never stopped treating people with homeopathy. Personal tragedies or professional boycott, he never gave up on homeopathy. Very powerful, right? This man spent an entire lifetime on homeopathy. And not just practicing or treating patients, but ensuring that this knowledge gets transferred to the next generation. It becomes some sort of, I would say, just imagine if homeopathy was not there. I cannot imagine treating something without natural medicine. Right? Homeopathy is a form of natural medicine. So all I'm trying to say is that Hahnemann spent a lifetime, and when he has spent a lifetime, we are in this for a lifetime. Okay. So now, prominent question: how to start digital marketing of my homeopathy clinic? Before you start anything, very important is you must have clarity of your goal. What do you want to do now, 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? What do you want to do? And what do you want to specialize in? A lot of us specialize in different fields of homeopathy, either by chance or by choice. It so happens that so nowadays you have got specialization in homeopathy. You have got psychiatry, you have got clinical medicine, you have got pediatrics, right? And some of us start off with a clinic, and we end up having cases of children only with lots of fevers and cold and cough. You are a specialist in that, which is fine. And where do you want to be? Whether you want to go with an online clinic, you want to have an online clinic along with sort of a physical clinic, you want to have only physical clinic, you want to have branches everywhere. That is something you need to plan, you need to chart out. You remember Dr. Hahnemann, what did he say about physician's mission? This is also a mission. So yes, definitely it is to heal the sick, to cure the sick. But yes, this should also be your mission. Where you want to be, what you want to do. And once you have defined that goal, you need to consolidate, you need to do whatever it needs to fulfill that goal. So, timely decision making is important. Whenever you start implementing something, some strategy, start working towards a goal, you need to give it a certain time frame that it has to be achieved, realistic time frame. And realistic time frame comes from references of other people's experience, of other case studies. And then you have to decide whether you want to continue that or discontinue that and go for a new one. Right? For example, if you want to boil potatoes, It will, you know that it is going to take about 15 minutes, maybe 3 or 4 whistles in the cooker, and the potato will be boiled. But the same thing may not be applicable when you boil pulses. The process completely differs. You have to soak the pulses for 12 hours. Then you have to put it in the pressure cooker, and you have to maybe at least give 5 or 6 whistles. It will take about 20 minutes, right? But then if it doesn't happen within that time frame, you should be able to decide and move on from that and go on to the next strategy, right? Ken-Square observation. We do that in our homeopathic practice, don't we? A remedy doesn't work for a certain period of time. What do? We revise our strategy. We change the potency. We change the repetition. We add an intercurrent remedy, don't we? Most important, I mean, do everything a little less but this a little more, is that know your consumer. Who is your consumer? Your patient. Survey the area of your practice. Wherever you decide to practice, it could be a posh local area in your city, it could be a village somewhere, a very remote area somewhere, it could be a town, okay, it could be a metro, but you must know the area of your practice. You must survey. When I say survey, what do I mean is that you need to talk to people. You need to ask them the right question. You need to meet people. It means going around and asking what are the kind of, or at least start making friends, and then ask them what are the kind of health difficulties they have in that particular area and what is the remedy they usually choose. So what will happen is you will know the trend. You will know what exactly troubles them. And in that, how are you able to give them a solution? Right? So market survey, in technical terms what we call this as market survey. It is most important when you start your own digital marketing. Okay. Now begin with utilizing your free time. Okay. When I say free time, means usually in the first early days of practice is the time when you are finished seeing your patients, you have finished your referencing, you have finished your case histories and case processing, and all your important work related to your patient. You will have some free time. Utilize that. Watch one show less on Netflix or Amazon Prime. Watch one YouTube video less, and utilize that time in doing your digital marketing work. That is how you begin. Okay. Remember the formula of start small and aim big. Okay. I usually always cite this case study of the Tata Indica story. Any of you know the Tata Indica story? If or any of you have seen the very first model of Tata Indica? Type yes, you have seen that, and if you have actually driven that, or probably you would have been a passenger in that car. I remember distinctly because I have been there. So when they created the first Tata Indica, it was an Indian make car, and as far as the experience was concerned, it required a lot of maintenance. It made a lot of noise. Not a very particularly comfortable car to begin with. 22 years down the line, it is one of the best selling cars in the industry. How long did it take for them to reach from that Tata Indica to this Tata Nexon? It took almost 22 years. It's a long time. But in those 22 years, they have made it an excellent masterpiece. Even in terms of safety, it is one of the best cars in the market today. So that is the amount of time, that is the amount of commitment you need. And like I said, you need to start small and aim big. You must aim big. Post every day. Okay. How many posts did I mention that I used to do every month? About 150. Right? And when I say post every day, is about 30 posts in a day. Now, of course, I am not too much into clinical practice. I am completely into digital marketing, so I can make 150 posts in a day. That is my full-time work. But what I request you to is maybe at least 1/5 or 1/6 of that you can try and do. Right? So post every day. Sorry, PowerPoint is stuck. What else would you begin with? We start preparing content and framework for your website. How would you want people to know you? Start writing about that. Write about your degree, your specialization, your experience. Okay. Write about yourself. What would you want people to know you as? Okay. look at other websites. How do they write about their founders? Okay, do not copy paste, but at least get an idea of the trends that are going on right now. When it comes to doing it yourself versus outsourcing digital marketing, see, now either ways you need to know the basics. Okay, now even if you, let's say, give it out to someone who is a digital marketing company or a freelancer, you need to know about all the technical terms of digital marketing. And otherwise what will happen is the person who is doing your work will end up not understanding what you are trying to say, and you will not end up not understanding what that person is trying to tell you, even if the results are actually good. Okay, that basically it's a language of communication, digital marketing. That language you will use either yourself to convey things to your consumers, or a digital marketer or a company will help you translate that and give it across to your consumer. Okay. Take up a learning program or learn on the job. Okay, now if you ask me how I have learned everything, or I would say most of the things on the job. I kept on doing and I kept on learning. Yes, I did my certification. Definitely formal education helps a lot in this organized learning, or what we call as, it helps a lot in this thing. But either ways you need to learn it. Okay, now for example, I run a course for homeopathic doctors. It's a 10-hour course. Okay, and those who have done the course, those who have applied everything in that course, after learning that course, have been consistently doing it, they have found results. Okay. Well, again, time and financial investment in digital marketing activity. Kitna waqt dena hai? How long should we spend after doing all of this? So like I said, begin with the free time, and then start invest, and then you have to start slowly and steadily making time for that. No amount of time, if you ask me, is going to be enough for digital marketing. Today you start with 1 post a day, you make 30 posts a day. I will request those who are on Zoom, please turn off your mic so that there is no disturbance. Thank you. Okay. So no amount of time is enough, but yes, you need to schedule a certain time, you need to give a certain time to this work. Okay. So start with digitizing a spare time, and over a period of time you will have to learn to manage time and make time for it. Okay, now this is a process. This doesn't happen like you start today and it happens tomorrow. No, it doesn't happen that way. Initially you will start doing the work, then you will start figuring out that how much time you actually have for doing that work. And then when you start seeing results, you will try to make the best of that time. Trust me, I'm saying this with experience. When you start seeing results, you start spending more time on that. And when I say spending more time, does not mean stop your clinic, don't do work, just keep creating videos, don't become the social media doctor. But utilize that time, the best of what you have, in creating a social media presence, right? About the money, the financial part, start with the free applications, one that doesn't require money. Start a Facebook account, start an Instagram account, okay, start a LinkedIn account, doesn't require money. You don't need to do ads right from the beginning. If you particularly ask me, you should have an organic presence first. Start posting one a day, do it at least for 6 months or a year, and then start going towards the advertisements. Okay. And once, like I said, you have been able to thoroughly understand the organic growth, you have been thoroughly able to understand your audience, you have been able to understand the trends, the kind of reach and likes that you have, the kind of content that your audience wants, then you start working on paid platforms. Okay. Coming to managing funds, the money. Well, with free platforms, you don't need money, but yes, if you start with paid platforms, you will need certain amount of money. Over a period of time, you will have to develop your own website. You will have to, again, it depends on how much of time you are going to invest into that. You will need a certain kind of softwares to manage your social media. There are times when you will be so occupied in a clinic, you will have to actually outsource the work somewhere, which is okay. You will have to start building a fund for that, either through a mutual fund SIP or through a recurring deposit, or start putting aside money every 2 months, 3 months for this particular thing. You'll need to do this. There are no two ways about it. Spend a little less, go out a little less, spend a little less on leisure, a little bit more on this, so that you will over a period of time grow financially, and then you can enjoy the fruits of this success that you have. I work on a Sunday. I mean, there is no fun in working on a Sunday, but that is the amount of commitment that is required. So मस्ती थोड़ा कम करो, फन थोड़ा कम करो, उसी जगह पे इस पे टाइम ज़्यादा डालो. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so this is about it. My presentation has ended. I will be happy to take question and answers from all of you, those who are live on Instagram and those who are on Zoom. Those who are on Zoom, I would request them to type their questions. And those who are on Instagram, please, let's see if we can have some questions on Instagram as well. Okay, in the meantime, I'll tell you something about the program that I run, Fundamentals of Digital Marketing for Homoeopaths. It's a 10-hour program, and in that we ensure that the homeopathic doctors learn all the fundamentals they need to start off with their digital marketing work. We teach the basics of Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, basics of creating posts on social media, editing videos. That is included in this particular program. In the past year or so, I was able to train around 20 doctors in this program. We have a question. Okay, Dr. Samidha on Zoom is asking, how long should we give ourselves to grow organically? Very good question. My answer to this is as long as it takes. But when I say as long as it takes, means that once you start posting, you need to evaluate periodically. Okay, let's say you start posting a particular type of thing, a particular type of event, or maybe a webinar. No, webinars are very important. Patient education webinars, patient education content is extremely important for homeopathic doctors. When you start posting that, when you start sharing that with different people, you need to see the response. If you get a response, do it more often. Also experiment a bit here and there. And based on that, you revise your strategy. And question about how long should you do it, I said as long as it is needed. Because it's not a 1 day thing, it's not a 1 year thing, it's not a 2 year thing. We are in it for the long run. Dr. Samida, hope that answers your query. Like I said, one post every day. And yes, intermittently you must have ads, but they should be strategically placed because it costs money. So you should be very well aware of your audience, where you're going to place the ads, who is going to be your target audience, your target area. So just to give a simple example, this is a takeaway for all of you, that let's say you are placing an ad on Facebook. Usually what I recommend is choose a 5 kilometer radius within the area of your clinic, okay, and target your specialization. Let's say if you are specializing in PCOS, okay, and what would you do is then you will only select females, right, in that particular area. You can select males also. Yes, awareness is needed, but prima facie your target audience is going to be female. In which age group? In the age group from about so 18 is the minimum. From 18 to the age of around 40-45, I would recommend that is the age group that you should use. So what will happen is your budget of ad will get utilized optimally. Your money won't get wasted. Okay, so we have one from Sudhaji. This question: how to increase followers on social media so that we can reach to maximum people? Now, good question. Every social media platform has got different algorithm or different ways in which it works, and based on that you need to apply those algorithms. Do those activities, and then your social media followers will increase. Most of it is post regularly. When I say post regularly, post every day. So you keep posting and your followers keep increasing. And yes, you need to know where to share those things. You have to find distribution, a line of distribution. you have to send those links on WhatsApp, you need to send those links on emails, bulk mail, particularly if you've got a large database. You need to, let's say you're posting on Instagram, find people on Instagram who are interested in the kind of work that you do, who would be interested in buying your services, whatever it may be. Message them, write to them, do cold calls. When I say cold call means, I'll give you an example. When I was, sort of trying to reach out to people for this particular program, I have written to people over email, those whom even I did not know, but I knew they were homeopathic doctors, they were homeopathic organizations. I wrote to them n number of emails. Okay, so that is the kind of work that you need to do to increase your followers on social media. And yes, your content should be state of the art content. So I'm not saying every content should go viral, every content should be great. Some content should be informative content, some content should be fact based content. You should have a balance of all of that, and some content should have a lot of deep thought, something that will touch the consumer in the heart. That is the content that will give you a lot of followers. So Sudhaji, hope this answers your query. Okay, so Dr. Omkar is asking how to create a post to reach effectively. Any apps for it? There are a lot of apps. What you just saw on PowerPoint, that itself is an app to create posts. Okay, all you need to do is save the slide as an image, and your post is ready. You can even select the dimensions for creating a post. So usually Facebook requires a slightly rectangular dimension. Instagram requires a square dimensions. Reels require a 1080 into 1920, which is like portrait format of post dimension. So you can utilize those platforms to do that. It is a free platform. Then there is another platform called as Canva. Very, very nicely built platform. I always feel that this platform was built for homeopathic doctors, for non-technical people who are not designers, who are not graphic artists. They can utilize this platform, and yes, we do take that up in the course that we run in the fundamentals of digital marketing for homeopaths. We have a session specifically for Canva. Then there are mobile applications. There is something called as InShots for creating reels. There is something called as Snapseed for editing photographs and adding some captions here and there. It's more of a photo editing app, but yes, I also use it to create posts. Okay. So Dr. Omkar, hope that answers your query. Okay, so Dr. Samita is asking, should we do reels on Instagram? What is your opinion? I mean, it gives a general audience, not a specific one. Very valid question. Yes, it does give you a general audience, but this is a funny story, I'll tell you. Someone asked me a question: how many people should we follow on Instagram, or how many patients should a homeopath have? Who is my patient? I'm a homeopath. Who is my patient? And now I always say the entire world is your patient. Okay, even another doctor is going to be your patient. Another human being is going to be your patient. A child will be your patient. So don't worry about a generic reach on Instagram. Keep creating reels. Even if you have a generic audience, you will have you never know when that generic audience will convert into your patient. For specific, see, it will reach out to specific audience also, provided you optimize the reel or that post in a certain way. Now, what is post optimization is something that I take up in the program in great details. That's a very, very long topic altogether. But yes, this is at this level it answers your query. Okay, so any queries on Instagram? Okay, so we'll wait for a minute or so, and then I will presume that the goal of learning has been achieved, and all those who have attended are now oriented towards digital marketing of their homeopathy clinic. The program, I would request them to send their feedbacks as to how they found it, whether it was useful to them or not. So Dr. Samita is asking, can we get information about your program? Yes, Dr. Samita, I will send the brochure to you over the email, and like briefly I will tell you Okay, let me share my screen. Hold on. So for those who are on Zoom, they can see my screen, but I'll just narrate this to people who are attending on Instagram. So you will get a certificate when you do this program. It will be signed by me, and we usually take weekly sessions on a Sunday for 2 hours, usually between the time of 10 and 12 in the morning. And why we space it weekly? So that you can get enough time to do your assignment, because after every 2-hour session there is going to be an assignment for you. Unless you do an assignment, the learning is never consolidated. The goal of learning is that you will learn the process of digital content development. You will learn to achieve digital media presence and organic digital marketing growth of your own homeopathy clinic. Using digital marketing and social media as an effective communication tool to communicate your services to your existing and prospective audience. The module includes, we begin with introduction to the digital ecosystem. Then we have a module on content development, content designing, then content designing applications, then social media handles like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. And this whole program runs over a period of, like I said, about 4 or 5 weeks. It depends on the speed of the class and the topics covered in that. So yeah, about 5 Sundays, 2 hours every Sunday. And the cost for the program is 6,000 rupees for the Indian audience and $150 for the audience outside of India.